Okay, Genshin's breakdown is interesting because this is the UGC patch, right? Cloud, iOS 10. Over here, iOS 15, Android 10. No one out here playing Cloud. I mean, yeah, that's to be expected. Okay. HSR was a free character, right? So HSR was down 50% across the board because they decided to give out a free character and they still somehow did 22 mil. Was there nothing else for HSR this whole patch? It was just a dude and he was free? That's kind of crazy how much they made then. Meanwhile, Wuwa with 2 banners. So CN was 2 mil. We thought it was going to get estimated down to 1, but no. They made it to 2. So this is better than expected performance. Imagine if this was 1 mil. This would have been 1.5. Or even less, actually. 1.75? It would have been like 12 mil. Wuwa holding on to dear life. Nikkei dropped across the board. ZZZ went up. Global did interesting. CN did way better. Trickle Revive. This is the new game, right? This somehow made 6.3 mil. Holy shit. CZN launched with 6 mil as well. Where's Stella Sora? How fucked was Stella Sora? Where's 1999? Stella Sora came out, only made 3.5. The fuck happened with the Etheria restart? What? Who? I haven't seen Etheria restart yet. Maybe I'm blind. Brown does doing very good. Still holding on to top 50. P5X somehow still around 2.3 mil. I thought it was gonna die way faster. The FK Journey slowly EOSing as usual. Girls Frontline 2 down 10. Yikes, man. CN has just been dead. Okay, no one plays CN. Global slowly dying to match CN as well. A third somehow still alive. 63 Tears of Themis down. Snowbreak up 300k. CN has no change. Global up 200 to 100%. This kind of reflects the general population of Snowbreak. Because in general, way more non-gamers use iOS compared to gamers. Gamers are all on Android. And also, you know, people that use iPhone is like way more female. Way more girls use iPhones than dudes in China as well. So like you see this breakdown, the Android should be way higher. But like, you know, it's still more people probably play on PC or whatever. Like the global breakdown is more accurate of how it should have been. Not really, actually. Global Android only 300k. I don't know. Gooner games don't do well on iOS basically. Because the major iOS demographic is women. So basically this is why Love and Deepspace is so boosted by this revenue, because it's a flat 1.75, right? But considering their mainly female demographic, this shouldn't be 1.75. It should be way lower. It should be like not even half of this. If someone can find the data for how many female users use iPhone versus Android, it's probably like 80% iOS, 20% Android. Roughly around there. That's my guess. Pulling numbers out of my ass here. That's based off of my own observation. So if that is the case, this Android multiplier this number should be like 5 mil. Basically, Love and Deepspace is getting carried by this, how the revenue was calculated. Gooner, female-oriented games shouldn't use the 1.75 multiplier for Android, for CN, is what I'm trying to get at. It vastly inflates the revenue numbers. There's like 2 things, right? There's more females using iPhone than Android. That's 1. Plus, people who use iPhones tend to spend more money than those who use Android. Because, first of all, they're dented as fuck. Okay? And second, they have money. So it's like a 4x multiplier. iPhone user, female, dented, and rich. It's a 4x multiplier compared to like male dominant normal fucking games, man. So like realistically, the Android revenue for normal games, 1.75, yes, sure, male dominant games make sense. Female dominant games, the Android multiplier for CN should be like 0.25 instead of 1.75. Okay, so if you did do that, okay, we can live manipulate the data real quick. Yes. Where was the multiplier edit thing? If you If you do some live manipulation of and then change it to 0.25, Love and Deepspace drops significantly. This is more like how much money they're making on CN. This is more accurate. This is how much they should be making. Instead of the 1.75 that's being put here. They're just getting an extra 20 mil for no reason. This is why female dominant games should have their own list. How they do one for Gacha revenue on Reddit. It's completely a different demographic and the multiplier doesn't really apply, right? This multiplier applies to like actual real games, right? That like, you know, targets their... Wait, can we have Trixie make a toggle for female or male oriented game and have two different multipliers? Genshin has 45% female players. Yes, the 1.75 makes sense for Genshin Impact. It's a balanced demographic, plus they release both male and female games. It's not a female targeted game. It's a general target game. Do you understand how this works? No sane male person would ever play Love and Deepspace. It's 100% female. You understand how this works, right? It doesn't matter if Genshin is way more balanced. There is a 50-50 gender ratio in the player base. It doesn't matter what the other games, the gender ratio is. It's not a female-oriented targeted Gooner game that only females will ever play. So the revenue is more stable for any other game that targets anybody. This is 100% female demographic. The Android multiplier shouldn't be this high. You single out Love and Deepspace, Tears of Themis, and stuff like that. Otome games they shouldn't be using this multiplier. That's basically it. Because only women play those, and they play it on iPhones. Probably get rid of the Nikki series as well. Shit like this also shouldn't have this high Android multiplier. What do you mean add iOS multiplier? iOS is based off of actual fucking data from the website. The CN number is the one that's an estimate. It's being estimated too high based off of the iOS. Do you get how this website works, bro? Before yapping? This is not made up numbers, bro. This is not numbers pulled out of their asses. It's from Sensor Tower. Sensor Tower makes the estimates. They don't make Android CN estimate because Android CN don't exist. There's like fucking 20 different app platforms and people like download the app directly from the website because Google Play is dead over there. They can't find out the number for CN Android, so they have to like guess based off of iOS. So like this guess is fake news for female oriented games because it doesn't, like, you know, based off of the actual demographic data, it's just not real. I'm not saying it's actually 80%, 20%, right? Love and Deepspace, no one knows how much, but my estimate is they should drop like 20 mil in revenue. Women use iPhones. They're rich as fuck because they use iPhones, because iPhones are expensive as hell for the price you're paying for. Plus, they're not as tech literate in general. And they, you know, it's basically iPhone users in general. If you start doing multipliers different for each game, this will just become same BS as Bilibili revenue videos. Basically, you know this website has the same multiplier across the board. But when you see numbers like this, for a game like this, you just need to know this is very much fake news, but this is probably not. Hold on, let me turn on the AC. Fucking room got 28 degrees again. Let's go. Let's keep scrolling. Solo leveling, 2 mil. No change. How are they still around? Path to Nowhere still hang on. There is a very niche CN player base that still play. This game, honestly, should also be lumped with Love and Deepspace. In China, women use more Android than iPhone. That is definitely not true, bro. What the fuck are you even saying? For whatever reason, they are cooking cool-looking female characters that appeal to the lesbians in China. So basically, this is more like, although the revenue here, the multiplier here, is definitely way more accurate than Love and Deepspace, it should probably also be dropped. But yeah, there's a very small player base of Path to Nowhere players. It's primarily women here. Android is used by more people in general. In general. Across the population. Yes. That's how it works. But if you compare men to, like, female to male, if you compare those, there's more females using iOS than male. More women use iOS compared to men that use iOS. And also people that are rich enough to spend money on fucking shitty gacha games on their phone or even play games is primarily women on iOS. If you are a girl in China and you don't use an iPhone, that means you are poor as fuck and you wouldn't be swiping in a game. That's basically how it is. Exactly. They would buy like 2-3-year-old generation phones just to buy a fucking iPhone. They'd rather spend brand new Android phone money and buy a 3-year-old iPhone just to have an iPhone. That's just how it works. People that are able to afford an iPhone, first of all, they're rich. Then they can spend money, right? And then it's a female target. It's just basically, just think about it. PGR is slowly dying as well. What happened to PGR? Yikes, man. Fucking yikes. Less than 1 mil. Echo Calypso. Tower of Fantasy 106. Yo, CN up by 100%. Look at this. 100% gain on Cloud CN. Not CN. Actual CN has seen no change. But Cloud CN went up 100%. Insane. MMO server definitely helped, guys. This kind of reflects that a lot of people, a lot of MMO gamer nerds did end up joining CN, but they didn't bother downloading the right? They didn't bother downloading the actual app. Instead, they downloaded the cloud version just to log in, because I do this. I wake up, I set an alarm when the crew auction starts tomorrow. I wake up, I log into Cloud CN, and I go and bid for the auctions, and I go back to sleep. This is why the cloud numbers went up. It's not about optimization. It's more about, you know, you play the game on PC, but you don't always have time to go around and like log in at the exact same time doing auctions. So like it kind of, ToF MMO drove the spending and download rates for the cloud version, so people can like go outside and play the game to log in at specific time frames during the day and to do shit. 3% more iPhone users compared to men in general. That's general statistics. If you are, just think about it. If you are a dude and you're trying to game, you would buy an Android to play for mobile. Okay? Women is different. They don't behave the same way. They don't buy an Android to play games. The freaking female-oriented target game is just because they could play games. They use it. They buy an iPhone for other purposes, obviously. So you have way more Android spending for a general game. Do Korean players even exist? I have no idea. Has anyone made an account on ToF Korea? Because I know global players can log into the Korean server now, right? How alive is this place? Has anyone visited the Korean servers? Guess not. Aether Gazer. Somehow Tower of Fantasy defeated Aether Gazer. Jesus Christ, man. CN is down so bad. But it's still doing better on CN though than ToF though. It's global that's dying. Somehow global ToF is doing 120k. That's insane. And then all the EOS stuff. Eversoul up by 2. 80k to 140k. Holy shit. Ash Echoes is dying. I think Ash Echoes just had a fucking collab with Guje. And then nothing happened. It's 0. No change. Wow. That's an EOS collab. Last minute fucking cash grab. Probably before EOS. That's what it looks like. Peak of combat, no longer peak. Remember Cat Fantasy popped off for a little bit? It's dead. One Punch Man World making bare minimum 1,000 across the board. How is this game still not EOS yet, man? Keegan is dead. Guilong Chao EOS. Speaking of Guilong Chao, we should do polls later today. Tribe 9 announced EOS. Sword Art Online VS EOS. Wow. Crazy. Where's Etheria restart? Oh, they're at 17. I thought the EOS. So who the fuck was Doom posting them again? What the fuck? Why are they up so much? Up 900%. Did they just launch in JP in China? Because global is going down. This feels like the real global one. Like JP in China just came out. Right? I think this is a new launch in CN. Where's the actual data? Game page? There we go. They came out in September for global and JP. So this is the first fresh month after launch. So it makes a lot of sense that it's up like this. So global side slowly dying from 7 mil down to only 10% of it, 700k. CN and JP just came out. And they're now carrying. For how long, we don't know. Etheria restarts spend cap next month? No, it's not gonna happen. This is their peak. It's gonna keep going now. This is the highest they'll ever get. 1.1 million downloads though. Jesus Christ. They launched in September, at the end of September. So they barely had any revenue. October is their first month of revenue, basically. That's why it went up. Cool. Nothing crazy to see here today. Really. All kind of expected stuff. Here's DNA and BPSR. So you actually added them, but hid them because they're not gacha. Nice. We have numbers, boys. We got some revenue, exclusive revenue data. Channel exclusive revenue data, okay? From Trixie himself for BPSR. BPSR, if added to the website, would be ranked 78 with 1.2 mil. Okay. I didn't open, I closed DNA. I'm gonna open it later. Okay, so this is BPSR. And then DNA will be rank 93 if it came out with 630k. CN iOS 100k, CN Android estimate 175. There was Cloud, and then global iOS 300k. Global Android only 30k. Jesus. Is Android really that unplayable? Speaking of which, maybe their optimization is better on iOS. Anyone with an iPhone? Any dented viewer here of me that uses an iPhone? Does it run well? Does DNA run well on iPhone, and is it pretty optimized? You're only dented, no iPhone? Got it. No, because the Android performance, allegedly, is very blurry. And it's like, basically, they didn't do specific optimization for your phone. Your resolution doesn't match, or they check your... So basically, this is what happens when they optimize for phones. This is what happens when they optimize for phones. They basically target specific hardware models, like specific iPhones. iPhone is easy. There's only so many iPhones. Their hardware is exactly the fucking same. So they can easily optimize the game for the different iPhone hardwares, and it'll be good. Okay, they can do... Every mobile dev can do specific optimization for mobile on iOS, because there's only so many models in the Apple ecosystem. Compared to Android with millions of different phone models and different fucking chips, Snapdragon, fucking Dimensity, freaking all kinds of different chips and shit. All right, different phone screen resolutions. All right, different refresh rates on the phone. Right, different size the phones, different aspect ratios. For iOS, it's a complete shit show. So devs in general don't optimize for Android at all. They only optimize for Android when, like, for example, Red Magic will do a collab with your dev studio. Okay, like Wuthering Waves did it, right? They've specifically made a phone for Wuthering Waves, basically, right? Then they would tweak optimization to make it like specifically good on that phone itself. If your phone is not tweaked, right, by the devs, then it is a general optimization. That's a one-size-fit-all to all Android. And the one-size-fit-all optimization has to be like low end, very low end. It's gotta be like super low resolution to make sure it runs smooth on all Android phones possible. That's why the game just looks like shit on Android. That's like in general to the Android. The devs gotta specifically optimize for your phone to make sure it works. But like no dev has that much time to fucking go around optimize every Android. So like I'm assuming iOS was way better optimized because they actually did the optimization and it doesn't look as shit as Android. And then for Android, these devs literally just optimized the game to make sure it actually ran. So they had to squeeze like 360p graphics onto your phone instead of usually 1080p. But yeah, this is the explanation why Android is way lower. 630k though. When did this game come out? 28, right? For 4 days, 630k is pretty fucking good, given what the game is, right? Like terrible fucking mobile launch. Most people playing this shit on PC, right? This thing also launched on Epic. There's multiple platforms. There's like 8 different platforms on ZN. not just iOS. Given the context, 630K for like 4 or 5 days of launch is actually fucking amazing. Plus, on top of that, the first gacha skin, the only real monetization in DNA was the first gacha skin of Psyche. It's for a character that you can't even fucking get. Most people, okay, especially mobile gamers, okay, they don't even have the character yet, and you expect them to swipe on their phone to get Psyche skin? Think about it. You actually have to clear the hard content on a fucking phone. You have to grind for like at least like what, 20 plus hours to even be able to get to that point on a fucking phone. You got her today, but you got the skin on day one. You got lucky, right? That's probably what it is. So there we go. You got lucky though. So then you don't contribute to the fucking revenue, bro. It don't matter. So it's like people been like, a lot of people on CN questioning why they fucking monetized the game the way they did. As in like, you know, they could have gave, I don't know. The way their monetization works is for long term. It kind of makes sense. They force you to do hard content to work for the character. You get the character, and since you already sunk so much time into the character, maybe you're attached to the character, and then you swipe for the skin gacha, right? It's a different monetization compared to, oh fuck, it's a gacha. New banner just came out. I must get this character to even clear Abyss easily, right? Let me swipe on this character. Let me swipe on the weapon because the Abyss has specific buff for this character. And then right? Let me swipe to make my life easier. It's completely opposite monetization. You can swipe and buy the unit directly. Nobody fucking does that. The whole game, you're playing the fucking game to grind. Why would you pay money to skip the grind? He did it because he's a fucking CC and he needs to make content out of it. How many CCs are there, bro? You're like, the whole game is about grind. You're playing the game to enjoy the grind. Why would you pay money to skip the grind? Canon immediately bought Lisbel too. Every fucking DNA sponsored CC immediately swiped on the game because they were sponsored, okay? I can't say more, but that's the whole reason. I will be swiping too because I'm sponsored. But I didn't swipe on day one because I wanted to enjoy the grind. I'll swipe tomorrow. Okay, I'll try and get Psyche tomorrow, and then we'll swipe until we get everything. We'll get the car too. But yeah, this is not bad. We'll wait for the second month. Second month should be way higher than this. As in, like, typically when you actually get Psyche, then you would get the skin. Then you would like spend money. Once you exhaust all your free pulls at the end of the banner and you're like, oh fuck, I am so close. This is why they're giving you a login bonus. This is why they're giving you some free pulls, okay? It's basically, it's 90 pity, yes, but you slowly get more free pulls across the fucking event, across the banner. Towards the end of the banner, you're like, oh shit, it was 90 pity. I already did like 40 pity or 50 pity. It's only like 30, 40 more pulls to get the character. Might as well spend some money and work for the outfit. Otherwise, it's gonna reset, right? So for something like this, which is not a crucial spending to get meta power, the spike of when you swipe for certain things like skins happens towards the end before it goes away. So by the time next month revenue comes out, it should go up significantly, but we'll see where it gets to. We'll see where it gets to. Pity resets? Yes, it's a fucking skin gacha. When has skin gachas never resetted? When did skin gachas get non-resetting pities, bro? Do you have to think about it? $60 Nikkei skin gacha. Imagine you can build pity there, bro. Toph skin gacha. When did that shit reset, bro? Or like, when did that shit carry over? Just fucking use your brain for a second. This game don't even have gacha. That's their only monetization. And you expect to get shit for free, bro? The whole reason you get free pulls is so they can bait you to potentially maybe pay for the skin later. But I think we're done talking about revenue. Anything else? It's only 20 free pulls now. There's like, you get, someone did the math, you end up getting like 40 to 50 free pulls. Something like that. Plus they just sent out like 10 more pulls through the apology thing or whatever. I don't remember. Someone did the math. You'd actually end up paying like, if you played the game for DNA, you would be spending about $50 every patch to get the limited skin. Because there's a mileage thing too. Someone did the math on Bilibili. I don't know where it went. It's like $50 to get the skin. To get guaranteed skin. And then if you don't pull, you don't get the mileage refund. So if you do hoard, you gotta probably hoard for like 3 or 4 patches worth before you can go into the banner and get a guarantee. So like you play the game for 3 patches, 4 patches straight, and then you can get 1 limited skin. Probably. Which is not bad. This is a good model too. This is a very good but long-term model. They need to maintain their player base and fucking have long-term success and to keep the player base playing the game in order to like make this work for them. They're in it for the long game. So think about it, right? Think about the hoarders. You hoard for 3 patches. You finally have enough to guarantee a character skin, right? And then you get the skin. You're happy. Immediately after, they release another character that you simp for and a way better skin. Now you don't have hoarded resources and now you're fucked. But the game like needs to survive first, so we'll see what happens. They need to build up their core small player base first. But yeah, that's it for revenue.